that. Check. Okay. No problem. Check. You hear me good?
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, wow.
A little louder, you said, or lower?
Oh, no, I was
okay.
lower.
Gotcha. All right. And welcome to the Portsmouth Invitational Basketball Tournament on this lovely Wednesday night in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Alongside Jordan Tyler, I am Matthew Hatfield, and tonight's matchup featuring Norfolk Sports Club, which will be wearing the white uniforms tonight with the red numerals and red trim, taking on Mike Duman Auto Sales with the navy blue jerseys and the white numerals. We are glad you are tuned in with us for this latest installment of the PIT. Earlier tonight, we had a matchup between Jeniking and Portsmouth Sports Club, which saw Jeniking prevail 85-79. Earlier in that game, Joel Soriano, 28 points in defeat for Portsmouth Sports Club. But I tell you what, really balanced attack to lead Jeniking. And you know what? Every time you come to the PIT, Jordan, you're going to see a couple of players that catch your eye, some highlight reel dunks, finishes, plays, and it's always just a fun time for the entire community and those that come all across the country, all across the globe to this event.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a family atmosphere, and it's one of the biggest events that I enjoy every year coming to. And you see some talent that really just breaks out and catches your eye. And I think in the first game, Tristan Anaruna, he was excellent and he really stood out. And when Portsmouth Sports Club made a run, he really kept them back in it, and he hung tough.
25 points for Enaruna, as you mentioned, 9 of 14 from the floor with a few rebounds as well. And then to go with him in double figures, you had Keelan Boone with 10 points. Keelan Boone from UNLV, and 18 points on 7 of 12 from the floor with 6 rebounds for Toulouse Smith III, the 6'11 center from Mississippi State. Good back-and-forth ball game. And this one, a lot of talent. I think us looking at this matchup, we're excited for. All right, you're used to the high-flying scoring, the threes, the dunks, the transition plays. We might see a lot of blocks and big-time moments on the defensive end of the court.
Yeah, Matthew, I'm really expecting a lot of defense here today. So excited for this one.
The coaches for each side for Norfolk Sports Club, Mike Head, Jim Corrigan, and A.J. Guyton. For Mike Duman Auto Sales, Jeremy Jordan, Walter Westbrook, and Elijah Burns. And we're about ready to get it underway here in Portsmouth for this event. Tons of scouts in the building, and a lot of fans filling the seats here at Churchland High in Portsmouth. Jordan, they actually redid the court here at Churchland High School just a couple of years ago. Kudos to the folks in the city of Portsmouth and the administration that decided to make this court look really neat. I know it's actually been, I don't know if you know this, it was actually featured in the NBA 2K video game. You can custom or grab this court. I'm not sure if you knew that or not.
I didn't know that.
Nugget, yeah. Folks out there may not know that, and a lot of the kids out there that play that game can actually put this court in the game. I know as of a couple of years ago. Pretty neat little nugget for folks that didn't know that. So great atmosphere here as always, and you can keep it tuned to us, wall-to-wall action. Make sure you also visit the website portsmouthinvitational.com for all the updates from our tournament all weekend long, which will conclude on Saturday night with a champion. As right now, our longtime public address announcer Jack Ankerson introducing the teams. Mike Duman Auto Sales will be the visitors on our board.
From Florida, number 22, Tyrese Samuel. A forward from Eastern Kentucky, number 20, Isaiah Kozar. A forward from Illinois, number 15, Quincy Guerrier. A forward from Ohio State, number 14, Jamison Battle. A guard from Nevada, number 12, Jared Lucas. A guard from Tennessee, number 10, Santiago Vescovi. A guard from St. John's, number 4, Dennis Jenkins. And a guard from UAB, number 2, Eric Gaines. The coaches for Mike Duman are Jeremy Jordan and Walter Westbrook, and from the NBA, Elijah Burns. And now it's time to meet the home team, the Norfolk Sports Club. A center from LSU, number 25, Will Baker. A forward from Washington State, number 15, Isaac Jones. A forward from Villanova, number 20, Eric Dixon. A forward from Liberty, number 14, Kyle Rose. A forward from Louisiana Tech, number 13, Isaiah Crawford. A guard from Xavier, number 12, Quincy Olivari. A guard from Baylor, number 4, Ray J. Dennis. And a guard from Michigan State, number 2, Tyson Walker. The coaches for Norfolk Sports Club, Mike Head, Jim Corrigan, and from the NBA, A.J. Guyton. The officials for Game 2 tonight, Claire Aubrey, Tony Patillo, and Paul Toomey.
So there you heard it from Jack. The rosters for both teams. Again, Norfolk Sports Club wearing the white home uniforms and Mike Duman Auto Sales with the visiting dark jerseys as we're going to get it underway here in just a moment. Any quick thoughts, final thoughts before we tip it off, Jordan?
I was just going to ask you, who do you think is going to stand out in this game? Any names in particular that caught your eye?
Well, I'll tell you what, Isaiah Kozart was telling you earlier, the Eastern Kentucky product who led the country in shot blocks, unanimous Atlantic Sun Defensive Player of the Year, really could catch some eyes. I think people know the names like Santiago Vescovi from Tennessee, which made an Elite 8 run, won the SEC regular season title, Jared Lucas from Nevada, as well as Quincy Olivari from Xavier, Eric Dixon from Villanova. But wouldn't be surprised if one of those unsung guys, maybe even a Will Baker, steps it up, as the tip is going to be won first by the home team. That's Norfolk Sports Club. And they throw it in the high post to Eric Dixon, who's being guarded by Guerrier out of Illinois, which made an Elite 8 run, won the Big Ten tournament title. In the post, they go to work, and the first basket is going to be scored by none other than Will Baker.
You called it.
The Nevada transfer to LSU, 7 feet tall, and he's got the feathery touch underneath for the game's first hoop.
Yeah, exactly like you said to call it right in the beginning of the game. I'm with you on Quincy Olivari, though. I think he's going to have a wonderful game.
What a touch from the outside as the three-point shot is knocked down by Jamison Battle, the 6'7" forward from the Buckeyes of Ohio State, who made 123 threes at George Washington, 134 at Minnesota as a stretch four type, and wasn't too shabby for the Buckeyes as they made a late-season charge and run to the NIT this past season. Deep shot from behind the arc will not go down on this attempt for Dixon, and here come Mike Duman Auto Sales. Long jumper is going to be off the mark, rebounded here on the move now for Tyson Walker, but it's going to be picked up by Eric Gaines and company. Now attacking the baseline, will be poked out of bounds here with just under 9 minutes to go in our opening quarter.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing Battle, and if he catches fire early, look out.
So already underway here at the PIT. Glad you are tuned in with us. And bounded by Gaines. Handoff here, looking to curl his way through is Dennis Jenkins, the St. John's product, but it's going to be rebounded on the contest by Baker. So one and done on that opportunity now. 3-2 lead for the visitors, Mike Duman Auto Sales. Long jumper again. This time is not going to go for Baker, but
look how you got hit on that, right?
Yeah, pass goes out of the reach of the intended target, Tyrese Samuel, and out of play back to Norfolk Sports Club here. So A lot of up and down action you'll see here. Sort of the filling out process for both teams in the first 5-6 minutes on this floor. Getting to play with new teammates, if you will, in an event like this.
A little sloppy, but they'll settle in for sure.
Pass is going to be over the head of Baker and a turnover here.
So it's interesting. We're gonna see Will Baker and Eric Dixon in the double post role. Let's see if Dixon can stretch it and like he did all season long with Villanova.
And Eric Dixon shown a lot of improvement throughout his career, and even before this past season, 15.4 points per game in the 2022-2023 campaign. Looking to attack off the bounce. Walker gives it up.
Yeah, he's looking to show if that he can defend out in the perimeter and switch.
That was Gaines picking it up. Now it's stolen away, though, by Oliveri. Oliveri stops, kicks it out. Here's Walker for three in front of the bench. Does not go down. It's going to be tapped out and on the move. Here comes Mike Duman with Jenkins, who will dish it out. Gets away from Gaines, but he's able to control it. The UAB product passing it up top to Battle, who can't get the three to go, and Baker's got the board as we're almost 2.5 minutes gone by in this first period. Dixon now stops, kicks it out. Here's a three ball for Oliveri. You can ring it up for Quincy Oliveri, and it's a 5-3 lead.
As we said, someone to watch in this one.
Transferred to Xavier from Rice after putting up 18.7 points per game in the 22-23 campaign. Here in the low block, face-up jumper is good for Tyrese Samuel.
And Quincy has something to prove because he was on the Big East All-Honorable Mention team, and he definitely didn't feel he deserved that, and most people would say he didn't.
Deadlocked at 5. Little maneuver to get by the defender. That one won't go for Oliveri. Rebounded by Jenkins. Went to St. John's. Followed Rick Pitino. Was the second leading scorer at Iona. And the Red Storm just missing the NCAA tournament. Turnover back the other direction now with just under 7 minutes to go in this first quarter. And subbing out is Will Baker. So for Norfolk Sports Club, it's Walker bringing it up the floor, complemented by Dixon as well as Oliveri. Isaiah Crawford into the game. He from Louisiana Tech, 6'6" senior guard. And Isaac Jones on the floor as well, the 6'9" senior forward from Washington State. And it's going to go back the other way here.
Yeah, steps by Dixon.
So a couple of turnovers here. As you said, a little sloppy to begin, but you imagine as we get towards the teeth, the middle portion of this game, both teams will get that offensive rhythm and flow. Bounce pass. Going to be controlled by Guerrier. Working on Dixon now. Wheeling through there is Jenkins. Jumper is smooth and good for Dennis Jenkins, showing the touch. 7-5 in favor of Mike Duman.
Yeah, I expect him to attack the basket as well, and that's a nice little mid-range pull-up for him.
Here's Walker. Passes in the corner. Another three-point shot. It's going to be pulled by Dixon. Doesn't go down. Rebounded on the move is Samuel. The Florida Gator passing it over to Eric Gaines. He gets by defender, loses the handle, but he's going to be fouled on his way to the 10 here with 5:57 to go in our first quarter. So early on, 5 total turnovers in this one, but we're seeing a lot of players with the ability to attack off the bounce and make some creative plays as they'll be inbounding from the side here. Jenkins, 2-point cushion right now for Mike Duman in this one. Gaines has got it. Gets by the number 2, hounding him, and Walker.
Guerrier.
Deep shot from 3 for Guerrier. Does not go. It's going to be rebounded by Isaac Jones, and now here's Dixon looking to make something happen off the bounce. Ray J. Dennis from Baylor in now for the first time. He was the MAC player of the year at Toledo, played at Boise State before that. 3-point shot from the corner won't go down. Rebounded by Jenkins, and here he is on the move. Jenkins already effective early on in this one. Deep shot won't go down. It's going to be deflected out of bounds, and it will head the other way again. So a couple of misfires from deep, and we've got a trio of subs coming in for Mike Duman now.
I just wanted to point out a pretty nifty pass by Kyle Rode behind the back. He can do that, so look for that a little bit more in this game.
Jared Lucas in, as well as Santiago Vescovi and Jamison Battle. You also have out there Jenkins staying and Isaiah Cozart, who we highlighted earlier.
As we mentioned, the defensive battle. Vescovi can really get after it defensively.
Stopping in the lane, trying to curl his way. There's the pass from Battle. Then low, it's going to be a dunk not finished by Guerrier, and here's not finished by Kyle Rode. And here's Jenkins on the move, passes out, long shot for Rode. As the Liberty product doesn't get that one to fall, but another opportunity here from deep. It's going to be Oliveri. Check that, it's going to be Lucas.
So Battle can't finish with that last one, but he hit one early, though.
Rebound now as Norfolk Sports Club trying to
Here's Eric Dixon in the post.
Here he is down low. Dixon backing down against the defender. He turns back the other way. Fadeaway jumper. Won't go down. Rebounded inside by Cozart. And now Norfolk Sports Club will go to work on defense here. Trailing by 2. Deep shot for Jenkins. He's going to be fouled on that try from behind the arc with 4:19 to go in the opening stanza.
Crafty move, creating space, drawing the foul. Let's see if he gets in a rhythm from that.
So both teams a little sluggish here out of the gate. 2 of 10, Mike Duman, their last 10 attempts, whereas Norfolk Sports Club has misfired on 7 of its last 8 from the floor. And we've got a timeout on the floor here with just over 4 minutes to go in our first quarter. And again, every year since 1953, the Portsmouth Invitational Tournament has invited 64 senior college basketball players from across the nation to compete before professional scouts. And we've got more action tomorrow coming up here, Jordan, as you've got coming up at 3:15. We've got a matchup that will feature Portsmouth Partnership against, check that, at 7 o'clock. It'll be Portsmouth Partnership and Sales System. And then you also have at 8 o'clock, Roger Brown's Restaurant taking on K&D Rounds Landscape.
Should be exciting.
And then your consolation game, I think I got tripped up there Friday at 3:15. You got the consolation matchup between the two teams that fall short in that game. And then you'll see who can advance on to potentially the championship round on Saturday, as the free throw, the first one here, is going to be knocked down for the visitors, Mike Duman Auto Sales. That one is canned by Dennis Jenkins. Stretching the lead to 3, chance to make it 4 here. And he does. One more coming.
He's trying to show that he can definitely hit from 3 because he's definitely a really high-level slasher and defender.
Gets them all to fall. Shot 85.1% from the foul line this past year for the Red Storm of St. John's. Here's Norfolk Sports Club now. Will Baker handing it off. Kyle Rhodes got it. Little nudge from Vescovy. Oliveri with nowhere to go. 4 on the shot clock.
There's Rhodes again.
Rhodes running out of time, and it's going to be a violation, as that was pretty darn good defense in the perimeter for Mike Duman Auto Sales.
The game's going exactly as you said at the beginning, Matthew. A lot of defense.
Yeah, defense is controlling things. We haven't seen the rejections at the rim just yet, but don't go anywhere. You might see that as we move closer and closer to halftime here in this matchup. So far, 3 assists for Mike Duman, a couple for Guerrier and 1 for Gaines. Bounce pass now as it's going to be hauled in but passed back out by Vescovy. 11 on the shot clock. Double team comes. There's the lob, but it's not going to be converted inside by Cozart, and off and running. Here comes Norfolk Sports Club. Pass across the way to the near side. Now lobbing it up. Oh, there's the finish and the flush for Isaac Jones, hammering it down for 2.
Dennis to Jones. Nice combo.
Good find there from Dennis. Exactly right. Now it's going to be off the dribble, kicking it out. Little pump fake maneuver. Thought about a 3 was Battle. And then inside and flushing it down is Cozart here, as he's going to make up for the last trip where he didn't get the flush. 12-7 now the score.
There's your guy.
Cozart known for his defensive prowess, but 15.6 points, 10 rebounds per game while shooting 65.2% from the field at Eastern Kentucky. Good ball movement, 3-point shot in the corner. Won't go down for Dennis. Rebounded by Cozart, and here comes Mike Duman looking to push and expand this 5-point lead. Screen set by Cozart. Handling the rock is Vescovy. Step back jumper for Lucas. Oh, that one rims out. Rebounded by Dennis. We were talking before we took the air here, Jordan. How about Lucas this year? Some exciting Mountain West basketball. Nevada, Colorado State. We saw San Diego State make it back to the Sweet 16. New Mexico won the tournament, though they fell to Clemson in the round of 64. But so many good teams in that Mountain West, and he was a part of that run for Nevada this year.
Absolutely. The Mountain West was so tough this past year, and Lucas is such an exciting player to watch. I'm happy we have him here. If he starts catching fire from three-point range, watch out.
Yeah, it could be dangerous for the opposition. Now backing his way down, it's Baker in the post. Oh, the fadeaway is good. 12-9 now the count as they cut into that deficit, getting the offensive rebounds. That's something if you do at a high clip, show that motor, it can impress scouts here.
Absolutely. Looking for effort, first and foremost.
Pull-up jumper from the foul line. Oh, it's good for Jared Lucas right on cue. We were just talking about him, and it's a 14-9 lead for his team, the Mike Duman Auto Sales group. Going to be a steal now from his teammate Vescovy.
He can do that. He's everywhere on defense.
Not a bad backcourt. Ball's loose. Vescovy's going to get to it.
That Vescovy-Jenkins backcourt really is a defensive front.
Vescovy misses the wing three, rebounded by Dennis. A little more than a minute to go in this first quarter. 14-9 lead for Mike Duman Auto Sales.
Mismatch.
Oh, nice hammer dunk again for Norfolk Sports Club. Isaac Jones.
Saw the mismatch and took advantage.
Can you keep up with the Joneses right now? That's going to be the challenge for Mike Duman Auto Sales. 3-point lead, but Jones trying to keep his team afloat here as he's got two above-the-rim finishes. Now here's Lucas. Gives it over to Cozart. Cozart hands it over. 3-point shot in front of the bench is going to be knocked down by Lucas. And Jared Lucas pushing it back up to 6.
We asked for offense, and Jared Lucas is coming to the game.
Curling his way through to the 10. Oliveri's runner won't go. Rebounded by Lucas. 3-on-2 chance if they want it. Oh, wasn't sure what to do with it. Was Jenkins there. Now pull up. It's Lucas floating his way in. And that one's going to be knocked out of bounds. Back over to Norfolk Sports Club with just under 23 seconds to go. And a substitution now is Tyson Walker, the Michigan State guard. 6'1" talent coming in for the big man in Jones, who gets a breather. Walker, who started out at Northeastern, helped the Spartans make the Sweet 16 in 2023 and then the round of 32 in 2024 here.
Yeah, he's a very versatile player. He can shoot off the catch, and he can also create his own shot, and he's a very high-level athlete.
Raised his scoring average from 14.8 points to 18.4 points per game this past season in East Lansing. Kick out Dennis over to Walker for 3. You can count it. And Tyson Walker knocks it down with 5.1 seconds to go. Full court pass is stolen by Walker. Can he beat the horn? His teammate will try it. Oliveri, bank shot won't go, but an offensive rebound and it scoots out of bounds. 1 quarter in the book, 17-14. Mike Duman Auto Sales with the lead.
We reach the end of the first quarter with the score of Mike Duman 17, Norfolk Sports Club 14.
All right, as we get ready for the second quarter, look at some of the numbers here so far. Alongside Jordan Tyler, Matt Hatfield here with you. Thank you for watching our broadcast at the Portsmouth Invitational Tournament, where Mike Duman Auto Sales leads Norfolk Sports Club 17-14. And so far, Jordan, we've looked at a lot of different players get in the scoring column, as we've seen thus far. I believe 9 different players score in this game, led by 5 points each for Jared Lucas and Dennis Jenkins for Mike Duman, 4 points apiece for Will Baker and Isaac Jones of Norfolk Sports Club.
Yeah, the three-point shooting left a little bit to be desired, 20% for each team. But you know what? As they start settling in, they'll definitely find a rhythm, and I think Lucas is starting to find one.
I think the thing that the coaches for Mike Duman, Jeremy Jordan, Walter Westbrook, and Elijah Burns have to be pleased with so far is there's been no fouls called on them. They have to like that they're playing loose, free, and basketball is hopping and moving. 5 assists for them thus far. It's going to be inbounded to start this second quarter by the group in the dark jerseys. That's Mike Duman. If you're just tuning in the white unis, it's Norfolk Sports Club. Lob up top. Oh, it's Samuel kicking it back out. And now Gaines looking to find something offensively. He'll throw it down low again to Samuel, who
Mismatch.
leads his guy, seals his guy, gets the hoop and the harm. You're right. Absolutely right on point there, Jordan. He found the mismatch with Oliveri, and generally the 6'10 guy is going to catch it over the 6'2 guy.
Yeah, I thought either way on that one. Dixon out on the perimeter or Samuel down there, and it's a tough matchup.
Teams first.
So here's Samuel with a chance at a three-point play.
At the line for one free throw.
And this is something he wants to show folks that he's improved that foul shooting stroke, just 56.2% this year. I might have jinxed him as he missed it behind and on the back end, rebounded by Oliveri. Oliveri scooting right by defenders for the hoop and the harm, and one for Quincy Oliveri, a blur in the open court.
Full head of steam.
Foul is charged to Mike Duman, number 12.
He's shown the ability to score it from deep and in the painted area, and there's that first foul on Mike Duman.
I think Quincy has a lot to prove today. It feels like he does, but he's been excellent all year.
Quincy Oliveri, one free throw.
No, speaking with some people coming in today, Jordan, there isn't necessarily that one or two marquee names, but there's a lot of quality and depth to this year's field and the participants across the board as Oliveri's among those many players, hits the free throw to cut it to 2 here, but just feels like there could be, depending, you never know what's going to happen with the draft, but there could be a bunch of players that come from this tournament years from now that find their ways on the pro rosters and possibly in the NBA. Three-point shot's going to be rimmed out.
Absolutely. I would say that more than anything, I think that the COVID year and a lot of the experience due to that is lend itself to a really good field here. And I think that a lot of these guys will definitely find their way into the NBA.
Bump there, much to the dismay of the bench there with
A foul is charged to
the Mike Duman group. They're going to call that personal on Santiago Vescovi as once again Oliveri trying to make something happen for his team. Taking matters into his own hands here, so a couple of foul shots to try to knot the score up at 19. Another one coming after that one is off the mark.
What were your thoughts on the Big East this year, Matthew?
I think a lot of people were upset that there weren't more teams that made the NCAA, specifically with, as the second free throw is good, the NIT champions in Seton Hall, St. John's, even could maybe make a case for Providence and Villanova. But you know what? UConn has flexed its muscles, and they've shown – and the thing that really – my biggest thoughts, Jordan, is as they swing around the perimeter here, it feels like the Big East teams know how to play UConn better than the teams outside of it because – a couple of the Big Ten teams in the tournament, taking nothing from Purdue and Illinois, didn't quite have the game plan to slow the Huskies down. You got to hit a bunch of threes, which certainly Creighton did in the one meeting they had when they beat them in Seton Hall, made some shots. Granted, Donovan Clingan was not at full strength, but I think the Big East, it's going to be hard for any conference, be it Big East, ACC, to replicate their glory years of the 80s, 90s, especially with the player movement and the transfer portal NIL these days, but Big East showed that it can hang with just about any league in the country, Big 12, SEC, Big 10, ACC, as that shot's going to be scored by Jared Lucas, who's having himself a pretty nice first half.
Yeah. He's getting in the lane and scoring. I expect him to heat up from beyond the arc as well.
Dennis gets the floater to go, as that one's going to make it a one-point game. You had UConn all the way in your bracket, right?
I did not.
Oh, you did not?
I
Okay.
should have.
Yeah. We won't talk about my bracket, which I blew up after the first day.
Oh,
We just blew it up. Took a stick of dynamite and said, get out of here, as that one's going to be deflected out of bounds with 13 on the shot clock, 8:12 on our game clock.
well, UConn was clearly the best team. It was more so a thing where everyone's going to pick UConn, so I was hoping that another team pulled
That's
through.
where I went. And, if I happen to see Bruce Pearl here, I'll give him a piece of my mind. But as we watched him kick it out to the corner for 3, I say that tongue-in-cheek, though.
Yeah.
Missed shot on the 3,
Of course.
rebounded. Here comes Oliveri from end to end. Down low. Oh, the pass is going to be almost over the head of Dixon, but he pulls it in. Kick out. Three-pointer for Dennis, and that one's going to hit the side of the rim. Rebounded, tapped around, and controlled by Lucas, who passes up ahead, trying to scoot baseline. Step back, pump fake move, and they'll pass it out with Guerrier. Tell you what, that Illinois team was mighty fun to watch until they ran into UConn, as that shot's going to be blocked by Dixon, who's exerting himself on the defensive end of the court for this Norfolk Sports Club team, trying to get the lead back. But here's Samuel with the steal, and he'll attack the basket. Can't get the finish. Rebounded by Oliveri.
Great pick, but you couldn't finish. Yeah, no, I love that UConn team. Here's Dixon.
His three-pointer won't go, and it's going to be a battle for the board, but there's a foul on the floor with 7:22 to go in our first half.
Yeah, Dixon is cold early. But, yeah, to answer what you were saying, Illinois was excellent. Even the first half against UConn, they really came to play. It was just a matter of too much UConn, just too much depth, really.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, if you put Terrence Shannon, Coleman Hawkins in that crew, which included Gary in another region, they might have gotten themselves to the Final Four perhaps. You never know, but ran into a buzzsaw at the wrong time when UConn just was clicking on all cylinders, and it'll be inbounded from the side here with Norfolk Sports Club's Kyle Rode. Interesting young fella, 10.9 points per game for Liberty. One of those teams that's been in the tournament before and gone dancing, and you always circle a team like that that can cause some havoc come March. It's going to be a long jumper, knocked down. How about that three-point shot drilled from Vescovy?
He can do that.
How about 325 made threes in 5 seasons with the Volunteers?
Yeah,
Oh, what a rejection. There's a block from Guerrier, but the finish inside as Isaiah Crawford got to it.
beautiful finish. Yeah, no, it felt like he was in Tennessee forever, right?
It did as Samuel tried to spin on his defender and Baker but gets called for steps here. 24-22 now the count as we've got ourselves a tight one.
The action's definitely picked up here.
Still waiting to see if either team can get in a groove from three-point range. As you mentioned earlier, Jordan, both teams under the 25% mark from behind the arc. Little step back move for Walker. Gives it up, though. Three-point shot from up top for Baker. It won't go down, and it's rebounded by Guerrier. Up ahead to Samuel. Oh, a little head fake move, and he will throw it down with some strength. Tyrese Samuel, who came to the Gators after playing prior to that at Seton Hall. 26-22.
Beautiful look ahead.
Baker's going to catch it. Two defenders corral on him. He throws it, but not ready for the pass is Crawford, who will get to it now. Oh, he'll slither by the defender and draw the foul. Going to the basket, Isaiah Crawford to the line for two. The Conference USA Defensive Player of the Year, who led La Tech 16.3 points per game, 41.1% from behind the arc. You know, Louisiana Tech's had some great alums. You think of Karl Malone in basketball. You think of Terry Bradshaw in football. Isaiah Crawford wants to be talked about in the same vein as those guys one day.
And more recently, Kenny Lofton.
There you go, Kenneth Lofton. Free throw is good. Another one coming as it'll be a substitution. Isaac Jones coming in for Ray J. Dennis.
Yeah, he's a slippery move to the 10. He's really looked good early on.
Second free throw no good. Rebounded inside by Samuel.
I jinxed him.
I did it earlier. We were both due to do that at some point.
There's Gaines up top.
Bounce pass to Samuel, gets away from him, but he tracks it down in the corner. 8 on the shot clock with Baker on him, and he loses the handle. Tell you what, Will Baker's made him put it on the deck and lose the rock a couple of times here. He's recovered well on a few plays where maybe it looks like the agility and athleticism will hurt him, but we've got ourselves a 26-23 game with 5:52 to go in our first half. If you want to find out more about the Portsmouth Invitational Tournament, all you got to do is log on to portsmouthinvitational.com. It's also on X or Twitter, as some still call it, on social media at PIT_basketball, and you can find all kinds of updates from tonight's action and so much more. As earlier you mentioned it, Jordan, the player of the game from the first matchup tonight was Tristan Enaruna with 25 points to lead Jenny King past their opponent in the Portsmouth Sports Club. And more action coming your way tomorrow. We've also got action on Friday, and then Saturday is the championship day, with that one set to conclude at 7 p.m. We've also got games on Saturday at 11 a.m., 1 p.m., and 5 p.m. on the East Coast. Double team coming towards Walker here. He's going to dribble to the right. Back left, little hesitation, move at the foul line, kicks it out to Crawford. 3-point deficit for the Norfolk Sports Club. Here's Baker trying to shake Cozart. He's going to fade away against him. Almost got the roll. It's going to be tapped into the hands, the waiting hands of someone to get a basket plus the foul. Isaac Jones, who's been in the right place at the right time and also threw down a couple of dunks with authority in this first half.
He's a good-looking athlete for sure.
Crafty move. Number 2, Eric Gaines, his first team.
So after having no fouls in the first quarter, Jordan, I think that's the 5th of the period for Mike Duman here.
They had to catch up, right?
Yeah, they're getting called for some whistles inside. Free throw won't go, but the rebound is going to be pulled in by Guerrier. 9.6 points, 6.1 rebounds per game for the Montreal, Canada native. Here's Guerrier, pump on the floor, jumper. Oh, it's silky smooth. Ring it up for Quincy Guerrier from the Big Ten tournament champion Illini.
So that
25.
That regional was so tough, right? They had all of the conference champions, right?
You had the four heavyweights, if you will. So it's blocked inside. Another effort. It's going to be a jump ball. Where's the arrow going? It's going the other way. You're right. You had not just UConn, which went on to win the national championship for a second straight year. You had Illinois from the Big Ten. You had Auburn from the SEC, though they got knocked off by Yale in the round of 64. And Iowa State from the Big 12, which had a couple of really good battles. Ran into Illinois, Sweet 16, after beating Drake in the round of 32. And Drake ended up, check that, it was Washington State they beat in the round of 32, who knocked out Drake in the round of 64. Isaac Jones on that Washington State team. So it'll be a three-point shot here for Walker that won't go down. Guerrier with the board. 4-point deficit.
Dennis Jenkins looking to push at first.
Here's Guerrier handing it off to Jenkins. Pump fake. Guerrier gets by the defender, scooting his way to the basket, and they're going to call a foul. Now,
will they
there's
count
one
that?
continuation. I don't think they're going to give him the continuation on that.
Team foul is charged to the sports club number 13, Isaiah Crawford.
Crawford gets hit for his first foul, and the team's third of the quarter. Dixon coming back in for Norfolk Sports Club to give the 7-footer from LSU Baker a breather.
Guerrier's been aggressive early, right? Trying to shoot. He shot himself into a rhythm, and now he's attacking the rim.
Oh, they did give him a continuation. Free throw is going to be no good. 31-25, and another whistle will.
Now on the rebounding action?
I think they're discussing it. They're going to call a hold on Dixon, it looks like. So it's back the other way, and that means free throws.
The foul is charged to Mike Duman's number 20, Isaiah Kozart.
Excuse me, 20 Kozart. I'm getting my 20s mixed up.
So right when we called out the lack of fouls, and now they're in the bonus already.
It's now become a foul contest here.
Isaac Jones, 2 shots.
Foul fest.
And the free throw is good.
Isaac Jones is a player I feel like could stand out here. Just a super high-level athlete. Looks like a very clean stroke. What are your thoughts on him?
Yeah, leading the Big Sky just a couple of seasons ago, 62.9% knocks it down. I like his bouncy. You know, there's so much you're looking for athleticism that if it pops off the page of the screen or in person, and I think he's got the hops to deal with some tough customers along the baseline. Ball's loose, picked up by the Norfolk Sports Club. Here's a three-pointer from the wing. It won't go down, but an offensive stick back for Crawford. And just like that, our ball game is a one-possession deal again, 31-29.
Back and forth we go.
Looking to attack off the bounce. It's Gaines. Gaines working against Crawford. He'll try the step-back jumper. Won't go down. Rebounded by the Norfolk Sports Club. Here's Rode. Bringing it up the floor. His team down by 2, looking to tie. Haven't led since 5-3. Looking by defenders, and it's sent away by Guerrier. Stays with Norfolk Sports Club. 6 on the shot clock. Here's Dixon from straight away off the back end of the rim.
Hasn't been able to find a stroke in this one.
Jenkins trying to maneuver his way to the basket. Won't get the finish there, and here's Dixon in a foul with 3:22 to go in our first half.
Any thoughts on Villanova basketball? Speaking of Dixon.
You know, they've gone through a little bit of a transition from where they were with Jay Wright at a national championship level, and I feel like they're just trying to find that new identity. You know, with Jay going back even before they won championships, you think about those guards they had many, many years ago. Is it's going to be a free throw here on that.
Yeah, the reason I ask is because as an alum, they're losing a lot next season. I think Bamba is in the portal. They got about like maybe 6 lost guys, and then Armstrong is potentially in the NBA draft, their point guard. So it could go any which way, but the future could be bright depending on who they get in the portal. But it's going to be a new team altogether.
That's going to be the name of the game for sure. I just remember before they actually climbed the mountaintop, when they got to that Final Four with Scotty Reynolds leading the way, they had that guard quartet. You remember with Alan Ray and Randy Foye, Mike Nardi, Kyle Lowry, that whole group.
One of my favorite teams ever.
And they lost toughly to Florida in the Elite Eight. And I feel like they just got to kind of find what their niche is under this new coach staff. There's a deep three knocked down for Kyle Rode, and 2-point lead for Norfolk Sports Club. Ball's loose, trying to be saving out of bounds is Cozart, but he saves it to the other team. And here they are in transition, lobbing it up for 2 as it is Crawford finding Isaac Jones, and Ike Jones has got his 3rd dunk of the half, a 4-point lead for the Norfolk Sports Club.
Like we were saying, he really jumps out of the gym.
And I think what scouts are looking for is he had that repeat jump, that second jump. That's what you're looking to see.
Quick.
Handoff. Trying to scoop up the defender, Jamison Battle, who's trying to heat up.
Good decision.
Corner 3 is going to be knocked down. The net was messed up, but now it's looking straight and good for Dennis Jenkins and the Mike Duman Auto Sales group.
And the offense is picking up.
It is picking up. Threes are starting to get bombed, some dunks. We've seen some blocks. High intensity at both ends.
Nice give and go there.
Looking to attack the base, and they're going to get a foul on Cozart, who's always looking to swat something at or around the rim. And we've got a timeout with 2:04 to go in our first half, and a chance to catch your breath on a night where the NBA is having its play-in tournament for the Eastern Conference teams. Jordan, I don't know if you watched any of the Western Conference action on Tuesday that saw the Lakers survive against the Pelicans as Zion Williamson went down on a 40-point night. And then you had the Sacramento Kings oust the Golden State Warriors, but it looks like Philadelphia has rallied from a large deficit, once 14 against the Heat, and they have a 3-point lead late with under 30 seconds to go against the Miami Heat. So Philly trying to punch its ticket and get the 7 seed, whereas if the Heat don't recover and rally, they'll be playing the winner of the game later tonight between the Hawks and Bulls to see who gets that 8 seed.
Wow, last time I checked the score, I think it was maybe the 3rd quarter. I think Miami was up like 10 points, something like that.
I believe they were up. Check it here. It was 51-39 at the half in favor of Miami.
Okay.
But Philly had 30 in the 3rd, and they've currently got 32 in the 4th. In a game where, again, they were down by as many as 14 were the Sixers, but playing quite well tonight behind a great performance from Joel Embiid, 23 points, 15 rebounds, 6 assists. But at the foul line right now here at the Portsmouth Invitational Tournament, we've got a 1-point cushion for the Norfolk Sports Club, which trailed it by 6 earlier. Free throw is good to push it to 2 for Isaiah Crawford, who started at Louisiana Tech. Known for his defense, and that's the thing you always look for too, I think, Jordan, is if someone's a defensive player of the year or player of the year, they show something that they maybe didn't show during the season. And while he was able to score and lead his team in that category, he gets a big performance here, attacking the glass, getting points to go with what he did defensively. It'll open more eyes. 3-point lead for his squad as Mike Duman Auto Sales try to rally here. Kick out in the corner, 3-point shot to tie it. Won't go down for Guerrier, but it's going to be trickling out of bounds, and it will stay with the men in blue from Mike Duman.
What I've noticed about Crawford is he seems to make a lot of plays off the ball, do a lot of the little things, cutting off ball. Seems just like a really good player that you could plug and play into any kind of system.
Mike Duman had made 5 of their previous 7 shots before that misfire. Here's Jenkins, pull up from the high post, won't go, but the stick back is there for Tyrese Samuel.
And fouled up by Tyrese Samuel.
Active player.
Florida.
Maybe more beneficial right now without Baker on the floor. He's starting to thrive against this matchup right now. A little pump mover.
Yeah, Baker had his number.
A steal for Guerrier and a whistle, as it's become a more physical battle in this quarter.
Back and forth we go for sure.
Kyle Rode called for his first, and to the line on the clear path foul, it is Guerrier. When he was at Syracuse, I happened to catch an interview where he was asked how to pronounce his name, and there's a French version and an English version. We'll go with Guerrier today. Doesn't get that free throw to go.
Did he get it mispronounced a lot?
I'm sure he does to this day. Bouncing it over to Guerrier. Going to hand it over to Lucas. He'll pull it from long distance. That one's not going to go down. Rebounded by Tyson Walker.
He has that anywhere in the gym range, right?
So far, the leading scorer in his half is Jones with 10. In the high post, jumper for Dixon doesn't go down. Rebounded inside by Samuel, starting to use his long, lean frame to impact the game at both ends. Here's Jenkins passing from the high block to the corner. They swing it from right to left. There's Lucas trying to use the screen. It's going to be offensive on Samuel, giving it back to Norfolk Sports Club with a 1-point lead.
A little too active there, right?
Down to our last couple of possessions of this first half. Long shot won't go down for Dixon, but they get the offensive rebound. He's stuck in the corner, passes it out. Here's Walker trying to navigate his way to the basket. He does with the nice roll off the glass, the kiss to make it 39-36.
Little do-si-do, as they say.
He smooched it there to make it a 3-point lead, and looks like Mike Duman will hold for the last shot as the shot clock is turned off. Who's going to take it? Vescovy over to Samuel. Samuel puts it on the deck. Oh, stolen away. Here comes Isaac Jones from half court. Oh, almost went down for the leading scorer in the half with 10 points. 39-36 at the break. Norfolk Sports Club with a 3-point lead. We're going to have a little bit of a break in our action here for intermission, and Jordan and I will catch our breath, come back in a little bit with some halftime statistics and thoughts on the second half right here from the Portsmouth Invitational Tournament. Looks like, by the way, in the NBA play-in right now, the game is about to go final, or has gone final, as the Sixers have edged the Heat 105-104. But we'll give you some numbers coming up here from the break and tell you what's on deck for the Portsmouth Invitational Tournament on Thursday and Friday right here from the Commonwealth of VA. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a little bit.
Yes.
It's halftime here at the 70th Annual Portsmouth Invitational Tournament. Alongside Jordan Tyler, I'm Matt Hatfield. Our score at the break, 39-36 in favor of the Norfolk Sports Club on top of Mike Duman Auto Sales, which led by as many as 6 in the first half when it was 17-11 late in the first quarter. But closing out the half on a flurry, a bit of one, was the Norfolk Sports Club outscoring Duman's group 25-19 in the second quarter. Some numbers for you at the break. First for the home team, Norfolk Sports Club, with the lead of 39-36. 10 points for Isaac Jones. He from Washington State off the bench on 4 of 7, shooting with 7 rebounds. 7 points each for Quincy Oliveri and Isaiah Crawford. 4 rebounds for Oliveri, 3 for Crawford. And for the Mike Duman Auto Sales group, 8 points for Dennis Jenkins from St. John's and Tyree Samuel from Florida. 7 points for Jared Lucas as they lead the way here. 5 of 17 for Mike Duman from 3. 3 of 17 for Norfolk Sports Club, but 27 rebounds, and they've been able to turn that into 10 second chance points there, Jordan.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say Jones really came alive late in the second half, and that has been the difference. Quincy was pretty good throughout. He started attacking the basket probably the midway point through the game, through the first half. And Isaiah Crawford's been very active as well.
He really has been. 7 points for him. Great point. 3 rebounds as well. And you look at the bench production, 15 for Norfolk Sports Club to 12 for Mike Duman. So far from the foul line, 8 of 12 for Norfolk Sports Club, 66.7%. 3 of 5 for Mike Duman. 5 of 17 from behind the arc are the young men from Mike Duman's group, 29.4% to 3 of 17 from long distance for Norfolk Sports Club at 17.6%. 9 turnovers for Norfolk Sports Club, 11 for Mike Duman Auto Sales. Coming up tomorrow from the Portsmouth Invitational Tournament, that'll be Thursday, April the 18th. You've got the team that is in the losing column today taking on Portsmouth Sports Club at 3:15 tomorrow. Game number 4 will be at 7 o'clock with Sales Systems Ltd. Against Portsmouth Partnership. Game number 5 will be Thursday night at 9 o'clock with Roger Brown's Restaurant Group against K&D Rounds Landscape Services. You say who's on whose team, who's got what. Well, all you got to do is go to the PortsmouthInvitational.com website to see the complete rosters, the results, the records, past tournaments, more about the alumni, some of the great players that have come through this event over the years, from greats such as Earl the Pearl Monroe, Rick Barry, Dennis Rodman, John Stockton, Scottie Pippen, Jimmy Butler, who plays for the Miami Heat, and so many more. You've got a favorite over the years?
Jeremy Lin.
Oh, I'm sure. There you go. But you can just read about the history of the event, too, just by logging on to PortsmouthInvitational.com. And, again, as far as the schedule goes, you've also got games coming up on Friday, and those games will start off at 3:15 p.m. That's a loser consolation game. At 7 o'clock is a winner game, semifinal game, basically, you could call it. Same thing for Friday night at 9 o'clock, and then you have your, I guess you could call it your first, third, fifth, and seventh place games in order, or I should say backwards to forward. 11 a.m. on Saturday Eastern time, 1 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. Your third place game at 5 p.m. Eastern, and then your championship at 7 o'clock here from Churchland High School for the Portsmouth Invitational Tournament to see who will walk out of here crowned as champions. And I love what the NBA and the folks at the PIT do. You have people from the NBA ranks. You'll have male and female sometimes. You'll have also high school coaches incorporated with this. And in the case here, you have, in this particular matchup, Jeremy Jordan, who coaches at Grafton High School, one of the coaches for Mike Duman Auto Sales, along with Walter Westbrook. Ed, who once coached at Ocean Lakes High School in Virginia Beach here in this Hampton Roads area, now coaches down in North Carolina. And Jim Corrigan, who used to coach college basketball right down the street as an assistant both on the men's and women's side at Old Dominion. So it's a nice little flavor and mixture of coaches that are giving some instruction to these players out here.
Yeah, you try to bring the best in the area, mix with the best of whoever is going to come in.
So as the second half is about to start here in less than a minute, what are you looking for, anything adjustment-wise? I know a couple of players you want to see get going, probably Dixon being the name that comes first and foremost, right? Hasn't gotten
a little too much off the dribble early, but he's been active. So I think you could see a little bit more from him off the glass.
Absolutely. He does have the 4 rebounds. And in the case of Jamison Battle and Eric Gaines, though, they've only shot a combined 1 of 7 from the floor. They are contributing with 6 assists between them, 4 for Gaines from UAB and 2 for Battle from the Buckeyes of Ohio State. Of course, UAB making a run to the NCAA tournament this year as well, winning its tournament. And Second half is underway here from the PIT as it's in the dark unis. Mike Duman working from right to left. Little fadeaway jumper is going to be money, cash money for Jared Lucas, who is now up to 9 in this ball game.
Interesting way to start the half. Lucas heating up.
And he's one that can really fill it up. From long distance here, it's going to be a jumper off the mark for Crawford. Look to run now, Mike Duman. Oh, and it's a block. Sky to send that out of bounds and packing. It's Isaiah Crawford, showing why he was the CUSA Defensive Player of the Year.
Not in his house. Not today.
No. That was to Kimby, would have got a finger wave, but it wasn't Mutombo.
No.
Inbound now, pump fake, trying to scoop by the defender, but backing off the dribbles. Lucas pump gets his defender to bite, and Dennis now passes over to Samuel, trying to show some versatility from perimeter inside, and now having more success this time and gets a little high five from Coach Jeremy Jordan as he goes at Will Baker this time. You know, a couple of those matchups Baker won in the first half, but Samuel's trying to get the better of him here in this third quarter.
So he's been aggressive either way. No matter what he's doing, it's always been aggressive, and that's been good. It's worked out for him.
So here's Tyrese Samuel, part of that Gators team that reached the SEC tournament final, fell to Auburn in the tourney final, but scored in double figures in each of his last 5 games. Had an 11.6 rebound, 5 assist performance against Colorado in the tourney. Missed free throw there, but Gary A gets the offensive rebound.
I was going to ask, did you catch that Colorado game by any chance?
That was a wild game.
Wow.
That one was ending just as the Auburn-Yale game was ending. But I looked over at the, as they do so wonderfully during March Madness, they had the ticker with the scores. I'm like, how is that game now tied or whatever it was, 100-98, 102? And I saw the ending of that game, which was wild. And Colorado had a wild game long. Late their play-in game. They had from the East Coast to the West Coast. And they ended up pulling it out against
really fill it up
Boise State, if I remember right.
Colorado team. Both Florida and Colorado. It was a really fascinating matchup. All offense.
Yeah, if you like the speed demons out there, that was a game for you. Little pump move by Battle, trying to check that by Kyle Rode, I should say, from Norfolk Sports Club. Seen a couple of these moving screens here in this contest.
To number 25, Will Baker.
They catch Will Baker.
First.
It's his first of the night. Inbounded now for Mike Duman as Dennis Jenkins looks to go to work here. Gives it up over to Lucas, and now hand back over to Jenkins.
Gary A in the post, backing down.
Jenkins has got it back here with 4 on the shot clock. He'll try a step back long three off the front end of the rim. Rebounded by Norfolk Sports Club with Oliveri. Missing inside, but getting the rebound. It's Gary A for Mike Duman. Gary A gets his defender off his feet, makes the pass. Now down low. That matchup again with Samuel and Baker, trying to back him down here. In the lane,
Lefty.
Little hook shot. And how about the patience there from Tyrese Samuel, who's come out of the locker room focused and really working. Now Baker's trying to give it right back to him. Goes from right to left, and he gets it back in his grill. 41 all. These two guys going tit for tat here in this one.
Mano y mano.
Up top. Now Oliveri is going to see if he can get his fingerprints on this one.
Back to who else, right?
Samuel working against Baker. Spin move. Oh, the shot is good down low.
This little push shot there.
Tyrese Samuel getting the hoop. And you're right, Jordan. His aggressiveness has really been noticeable in this third quarter. Trying to will Mike Duman to a bigger lead here as that long-range attempt won't go down for Crawford. Samuel now 6 of 8 from the field. He's up to 13 points as the game's leading scorer.
So for Crawford, just pointing that out, he's really got to, if he's going to be a 3-and-D guy, he's really got to hit that corner 3 when he's open. He made some really good passes early on in this half. So let's see what he can do if he can pick it up.
Yeah, he's yet to hit from deep, and as a team, Norfolk Sports Club just 3 for 19. Here's a shot from around the foul line, and you can count that for Jared Lucas, who's got that stop and pop middle game that is really hard to contain right now. Here's a wing three, and it's going to be
There it
swished
is.
home for Isaiah Crawford. Yeah, he must have heard you from up here.
Right?
He said, I'll show you. Silencing the critics from up top, 45-44. It's a 1-point deficit again. Here's Jenkins trying to show some maneuvering off the dribble. Oh, the jumper's good from deep for Samuel, who's having himself one heck of a quarter. Tyrese Samuel in this quarter alone with 8 of his team's 12 points. There's a bump there. Tyrese Samuel showing off the versatile skills. Gators have produced some pretty darn good pros. You think back to, obviously, UConn winning back-to-back national titles this year, the last team to do it. That Florida team, 2006-07, led by that front line, that dazzling front line with Joakim Noah, Al Horford, and Corey Brewer.
Yep.
Don't forget about Lee Humphrey knocking down threes, by the way, on the team. He didn't quite have the NBA career the other 3 guys did, but nonetheless, that was a really tough Florida team to deal with, and Samuel showing that he's got a game that can extend beyond the collegiate ranks.
Or Torian Green, right?
Torian Green, a point, yeah, PG, don't forget about him. Billy Donovan now coaching in the NBA with the Chicago Bulls, who are in action tonight in the other play-in game in the Eastern Conference against the Trae Young, DeJounte Murray-led Atlanta Hawks. As it'll be a couple of free throws coming here with 6:01 to go in the third. And it was indeed, if you're just running our broadcast, the Sixers held off the Heat, rallying to win 105-104. And early on, I see the Bulls have a 3-point lead, a little more than 5 minutes gone by against the Hawks. And their Eastern play-in win or go home as the situation is. And here's the free throw now for the guys in white from Norfolk Sports Club, and that first free throw won't go down for Oliveira. He's got another one coming. I want to see if he can, I just mentioned a couple possessions ago, take over this game, because it feels like Samuel's taken over this quarter, Jordan, and Oliveira's got maybe that potential for the Norfolk Sports Club here, trailing by 4 after grabbing that halftime lead of 39-36.
Yeah, I feel like he's looking to assert himself driving to the basket, but it would be nice to see him hit a few threes or some more different action than what he's been doing, but we'll see.
Well, getting to the free throw line and seeing the ball go through the net always helps with the confidence of scorers, shooters, and players in general, as that second one goes down to cut it to 3. 48-45. Bringing it up the floor now is Santiago Vescovi.
Look for him to shoot more.
6.3 points, 3.7 rebounds, and 2.5 assists per game for Vescovi.
Vescovi will do anything for your team.
Corner 3 is going to be, no, it's going to be a long 2, beg your pardon. Foot was on the line for Jamison Battle. 50-45 is the lead. Norfolk Sports Club trying to counter here. Here's Tyson Walker. Down low to Eric Dixon.
Got the mismatch.
Dixon wants to demonstrate that low post ability, especially to get himself in the scoring column here in this half. And we've got a timeout on the floor with 5:26 to go in our third quarter.
See, when they put him with Baker, I think they're going to try to move him along the perimeter, but when he's in the post himself, I feel like he really has an opportunity to assert himself on the block with a mismatch.
Well, you've also got the high-flying Isaac Jones on the other side of the post, who can go get a lob if need be. He's got 3 dunks in this one.
Oh, absolutely.
Inbounded to Oliveira in the corner, back over to Walker, seeing if he can get by Vescovi. And he drives into traffic and draws the foul. Tough take there with 5:20 to play in our third quarter.
Foul charge number 10, Santiago Vescovi. That's his second. Team's 4th.
Second foul, 4th team foul as they catch Vescovi on that one.
Any thoughts on Tyson Walker?
You know, Michigan State was one of those teams I would have thought would win. We saw A.J. Hoggard earlier tonight, in fact, played for the Jenny King team. I thought they would have a little more success than they did. And you knew coming in, Purdue would probably be the favorite, led by Zach Edey. Illinois certainly was a team that could play at a high rate of speed and do some dazzling things in the open court with Shannon and Hawkins leading the way. Gary A, part of that group.
Yeah.
But they ran into North Carolina, and they had a lead in that first half of that round of 32 game. I don't know if they quite met the expectations. And looking at some of the statistical splits, it felt like at times Walker and Hoggard, as you see right there, attacking the basket as Tyson Walker might have had better seasons at times a year ago than this year. So, I don't know. I felt like I was wanting more out of them this year as that shot was missed from deep, rebounded by Mike Duman with Lucas. but you know, having seen them before, that they can deliver on the big stage. Speaking of that, Jerry Lucas, they had a massive. I want that on the house. That dog out. That game was like how big. So I tell you what, it was a disappointing game for them. They felt amazing. That monster. There's a lob again. But
After
I feel
a great
like
season,
to
right?
these guards, Lucas, Walker, Hoggard, among others,
Yeah.
they might have a little chip on their shoulder, something to prove, which is what you want to see coming out here. Can you go harness that in the right way in a showcase like this in front of scouts? And
Post, nice little hook shot. So yeah, he's brought some energy. And then you got on the other end, Isaac Jones has not had the same impact that he had in the second quarter yet. We'll see.
winner of this game will move on to Friday's, I guess you could call it semifinals at 7 p.m. against Jennings, which prevailed 85-79 over Portsmouth Sports Club. Did so despite 28 points in a losing effort, 12 rebounds from Joel Soriano of St. John's. Aaron Estrada with 13 points and 4 rebounds, 4 assists in that loss, while it was Mr. Smith, Toulouse Smith, with 18 points, Keelan Boone with 10, but the player of the game was Tristan Anaruna with 25 points on 9 of 14 to lead Jennings earlier tonight. And at the line now to try to cut into this deficit, it's Norfolk Sports Club with Quincy Oliveri hitting the first of 2 free throws. And Quincy Oliveri, a player that this past season for the Musketeers of Xavier averaged 19.1 points per game, shot 40.9% from behind the arc, and just over 81% from the foul line as he makes a pair here to make it a 59-52 score.
Like I was saying, he hasn't really shown much from beyond the arc, but he's attacking the rim. And he's been aggressive, keeping his team in it.
Here's Vescovy. Good one to his right. Oh, it's going to be stolen away, anticipating it was Oliveri going to the basket, and he's going to be fouled there as Gaines tried to cut him off.
Speaking of,
The Duman foul charge to number 2, Eric Gaines.
So a chance here to make this a 2-possession game. And that's the 4th foul on Gaines. He's the first one to get there tonight.
so James and I joke. So are these the NBA rules with fouls?
We
or-
were told. I asked. That's a great question. I was one of the last game. I was sitting down there with some folks at press row, and the first free throw was no good. And that question was asked by one of the coaches, the high school coaches, to my left, which would be our right up top. And Pat Doolin, who I know is one of the coaches in charge for the high school coaches, he came over and pulled up the rules. 6 is the foul out number.
Yep.
So 6 is the foul out number. We did confirm that earlier because there were some people wondering if they had changed the rules or if there was any different, circumstances to it. Second free throw is good.
So it's not quite Summer League with 10, right?
It's 6 is what we were told. So he's got one more to play with. 2. If he gets 2, he's done. 59-53. That one's going to get away from Vescovy on that pass from Gaines, and he says that one's on me. Gaines does have 5 assists tonight.
He's been assertive this second half.
3 players with 2 steals each: Oliveri, Jones, and Vescovy in this game. 3 blocks for Guerrier to lead that category.
Gaines has shown some really good wiggle, like you were pointing out against Dixon.
Kick out in the corner. That shot's not going to graze any iron. Rebounded now by Gaines, and here they are looking to push. 6-point game. Here's Guerrier from 3. It's going to be short. Oh, look at the hustle trying to save
Wow.
it. Almost running into our buddy the Juice Man down there. And it's going to be a finish at the rim with the dunk. How about that flush by Quincy Guerrier?
Just pointing out, those are the winning plays that Vescovy really makes in those games.
It is. Those things that won't show up on the stat sheet, the intangibles that you got to have. Absolutely. Winning DNA he's got. Down low. Here it is underneath. It's going to be scored off the window for 2 by Isaac Jones, who has been quite active tonight. Part of that resurgence for Washington State this past year. Did they come out of nowhere? What I think 2 of the biggest surprise stories, Jordan, in college basketball, though South Florida didn't make the NCAA tournament. The Bulls of South Florida under Coach Amir Abdur-Rahim, as the shot is scored underneath for 2 by Cozart. And the Cougars of Washington State coming out of nowhere in the Pac-12, where they swept Arizona this year, a Sweet 16 team.
Yeah.
Shot from deep is no good, and the corner is going to be chased down by Guerrier.
So I'm one of the few that believe that South Florida deserved a bid, especially if I think they had Florida Atlantic as an 8 seed.
You know, I felt off what they did, their body of work in the eye test, but what hurt them was their non-conference was just the net was way too low. And it felt like it was impossible. It would have been like a situation where, like, you know, they deserved off what they accomplished, yes. It'd been like if Grand Canyon didn't win its tournament. Grand Canyon wasn't getting in. I loved Grand Canyon all year. Coach Drew and the job they did. They were one of my preseason favorites as a Cinderella team, and they sure came close, losing to Alabama in around the 32 after upsetting a first-round opponent in, was it St. Mary's, I think it was, in around the 64. But if you don't win your league, unfortunately, where they were in the AAC, it was going to be too hard for them to overcome, as it's going to be a little dribble left, back, right move for Ray J. Dennis, passing it up top to Isaac Jones. Jones hands it off to Dixon here. Under a minute to go in his third quarter. Dixon with the left hand gets by his defender, and there you go with that strength, body control, and the basket off the window for 2 to cut it to 6. This is a time where he could really get on a hot streak. There's a couple of players. Oliveri, Dixon for Norfolk Sports Club, trailing by 6. Three-point shot from the wing won't go down for Lucas. Rebounded now as it's Tyson Walker. Into the front court, kicks it out. Dennis for 3. Yes, sir! It's a 3-point game, 63 to 60.
Norfolk Sports Club making a run.
Yeah, basketball is a game of runs, and we're watching Norfolk Sports Club find its mojo. 5 of their last 7 shots from the field have been drained.
So who do you think is going to be key for them down the stretch?
Tell you what, for them, I really think getting Dixon going in the post, get him to the free throw line, see if you can attack. You know, in Mike Duman's case, they've got Gaines with 4 fouls, but also 3 fouls apiece on Vescovy and Lucas. Can they get some of those bigs, like Cozart in particular, you know, in some trouble? And that would be their advantage if they can get some scoring in the paint, because right now, well, we don't have a paint points breakdown, but it feels like more of the scoring inside has been done by Mike Duman, with Samuel the catalyst for that, as it is.
For sure.
No shot clock here. It's turned off, looking to attack. Off the dribble, it's going to be Vescovy losing the handle, but it was touched last by Norfolk Sports Club with 2.7 ticks on the clock.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Dixon, he had a better matchup earlier than Guerrier, but
trying to get it in. It's Gaines. Throws it up top.
Wow.
Oh, what a finish inside by Guerrier. Sky to the basket for 2. 65 to 60.
Baskets scored by Quincy Guerrier.
Guerrier with that hoop up to 9 now. Baseball pass to Dixon at the horn. Oh, he got it to go.
Beat the buzzer.
Well, is this one referee going to wave it off or not? I think he beat it, clearly.
I think he beat it.
They're huddling up to
Talking
discuss.
about it.
Let's see if they count it for Eric Dixon. No, they're waving it off. Oh, they take away that basket, which could be crucial. And I see Coach Corrigan over there arguing with one of the officials. They saying the clock didn't start? That would be the only thing I could think of, because I thought he got it off in time. Now, it was 1.1, and that's, you know, you got to turn your body and uncork it. But
I thought he got it off as well. I guess that's why I'm not a ref, right?
So wipe it off.
Keep the fun going after the game. Head to Rivers Casino, proud PIT sponsor. Try your luck at blackjack.
Although right now on the board, it looks like, Jordan, they're keeping it 65-62 as they're counting it on the stat feed. But she clearly on the court here waved it off.
Yeah.
So we'll see if they fix it on our scoreboard here, our score bug for you watching at home or wherever you may be tuning in, and the live stat feed we've got with us here.
Yes, it counts.
Well, as of right now, it looks like it's counting. But I'm pretty sure she made the signal of
Waving it off, yeah.
waving it off.
Pretty clear.
Well, what you hope is not that we care who wins this basketball game, but
Yeah.
it doesn't come down at 2
Yeah.
points. Either
right?
they go on a run to go up, it doesn't come down to 2, or they push it up to not let it come down to 2. However you slice it. So, Norfolk Sports Club with the basketball here to begin this fourth and final period. Will Baker trying to back down his defender, and Samuel fade away to his right. Doesn't go down, rebounded by Samuel. 3-point deficit showing on our scoreboard, as it does not appear they have changed the clock or the stat feed. So I guess Dixon's going to get that hoop to count for him. He'll take it. He's got 7 points now officially, or unofficially, however you look at it. Oh,
Samuel.
Nice dribble, and then he powers it home for 2.
Got the seal.
Explosive.
Yep.
Tyrese Samuel has been a difference maker on the court tonight. Here's a 3 from the wing. Oh, you can count that for Kyle Rode and the Norfolk Sports Club.
He's been quiet, but that was a big shot.
The silent assassin making it a 2-point game. Here it is. Tyson Walker. Check that. Eric Gaines.
Nice floater.
Scoring it off the dribble is Gaines, who put up 12.3 points, 5.5 assists per game this past year. He's known to fill the stat sheet, and he's got the ability to harass ball handlers.
Better block.
Pop out to Battle, yeah. The rejection's starting to accumulate here. Battle lobs it up for Samuel. Takes the dribble, and tell you what, he moves the ball. He's so fluid inside.
Yeah, absolutely. He's difficult to face. He's just really active.
And Tyrese Samuel listed at 6'2", 239 pounds. And Oliveri now with his second personal.
Tyrese Samuel at the line.
Back to the line here. As we mentioned earlier, not to harp on it, but he's 58% thruster. If he gets it up into that 68 to 70% range, that just does wonders for him as far as his complete package goes.
And if he could stretch like he showed on that one play,
yeah.
If he could consistently shoot that.
Tonight, 8 of 10, 101 from deep with 5 rebounds.
Yeah.
Misses the second foul shot. Offensive board, though, by his teammate in Battle. Handoff here to Vescovy. He's looking for Samuel. He'll kick it out to Guerrier for 3 in front of the Duman bench. Doesn't go down. Rebounded by Tyson Walker. Do Walker and company have another flurry in them? They lob high to Baker. Hard for him to catch that one. Here's Guerrier on the move over to Samuel. What about a 3? He'll pick up his dribble and pass it out to Gaines, and probably wisely did that.
Looking to pull up, just what we were talking about.
Vescovy now.
Good pick and roll action there.
Misses it, but inside there's Samuel. Misses his first attempt. They're going to call him for traveling.
The self pass.
Traveling violation.
Five-point margin here with 7:47 to go.
Here's Tyson Walker with it.
Over to Kyle Rode. Hand it back off to Oliveri. Deep shot from deep. It's the side of the backboard, rebounded by Vescovy.
Bit of a force there, but let's see where they go with it.
Now that pass was late behind Guerrier, but look at the hustle, though, from Vescovy.
He's
Gets
everywhere.
it back. Here's Battle for 3, but it's going to be blocked from behind as Isaac Crawford didn't give up on the play. Now Guerrier gets the board, and
How did Battle get that off?
it's all in scramble mode. I have no idea. Looks like the Mike Duman bench a little bit more into it right now than the Norfolk Sports Club bench.
Team second.
Substitution as Baker checks out. Dixon returns.
Here's Gaines.
Oh,
Wow.
Eric Gaines with the one-handed hammer dunk. Rock the baby, and boom! Shakalaka in the corner now. Dixon thought about a 3. He'll pass it over to the wing.
Quick first there. Wow.
I'm not sure people saw that one coming.
Turn down the screen and just beat him.
Tell you what, that's a photographer's dream to be right there in that spot to get that photo.
Absolutely.
Foul is charged to Mike Duman's number 14, Jamison Battle.
Jamison Battle call for his second foul. Team's first, and at the line is Dixon now.
That's what I was talking about earlier. He should totally exploit this matchup inside against Jamison Battle. Dixon.
Going back to Eric Gaines for a moment.
Yeah.
The UAB Blazers had that great run, if you remember, and of course he played previously at LSU in the AAC tournament. He had 20 points against South Florida, eliminating the Bulls. He had 15 points, 9 assists, 3 blocks, and 5 steals in the championship game against Temple. And the second foul shot, making it a 72-67 game.
Incredible game. The AAC final.
I think he's going to have to really work on his three-point, 26.9%, but 5.5 assists per game, and defensively he's averaged over 2 steals, so almost 3 straight years with that. As that jumper's going to be
He's cooking now, though.
74-67. Trying to salt this one away. Inside the miss, and Dixon's going to be blocked for a second by Vescovy. They're going to say jump ball? I think they are.
Yeah. Great defense by Vescovy.
Well, if I had to choose a player to game, we still have 6 minutes to go. Samuel gets my pick. He's been quite the difference maker in this second half of those 19 points, 11 here after halftime. But not far behind is Jared Lucas, who's quietly put together a 14-point, 3-rebound game with no turnovers from the guard spot. And to have no turnovers in a game like this when you play 20-plus minutes, that's no small feat, as it's the up and under for Crawford to cut it to 5. But we still have 6 minutes to go to decide not just a winner, but who would get that coveted mantle of player of the game.
Yeah.
Screen's now going to be set by Kozart. Ball's going to be poked away. Here comes the Norfolk Sports Club. Well, they tried to get him, but Battle got to it. 4 on the shot clock. They're going to have to hurry. Gaines kicks it out. Corner 3 from Guerrier.
That was a great look by Gaines to recover on that play.
It rims out, but it's tapped out, and Guerrier gets it over to Gaines, who misses it again. They're playing volleyball at the rim. It's going to be deflected out, and papers and bottles of water all hit the deck. Let's hope no laptops got smashed or crashed.
No, it didn't look like it,
5:36 to go. That's the beauty of being at a higher level and elevated than down there on the floor, where they could come flying at you and bad things can happen.
I've seen it on the NBA side a couple times. A couple of guys flying into the crowd.
Give you a funny story. I've covered a lot of high school games over my years, and I've been right there along the baseline here. Nothing's happened to me. This past year, I'm literally maybe where these NBA scouts and front office people are sitting. I'm maybe sitting like where that third row is.
Oh, wow.
And this player comes flying all the way and collides into me, and thankfully he did not crush me or my computer, but I was a good 30 feet behind the basket at least. And you would think all the times I was right nearby the basket, something would have happened, and not that case. But it'd be that one time. So it just goes to prove and show that, anything out of the way happen
at any time.
You have fast-moving, talented athletes moving, 5:36 chasing a basketball. You could be sitting in the stands and it's flying at you. Absolutely. 3 points, you could be sitting. Wow. But here's Battle, able to swish home a 3 and say, all right, I hear your critique about the outside shooting. Take that. But 77-69.
The underhand out-of-bounds pass by Gaines, though. Pretty.
Gaines is really stepping up here with 8 dimes in this one. Kick out by Rode. What's Oliveri got left in the bag? 11 points and 6 boards tonight. Here he is stepping back for a deep 3, and he knocks it down with 2 on the shot clock.
He does that.
So the percentages throw him out the window. It's the time he makes. It's crunch time, or clutch time, as they say at the pro level. Under 5 minutes to go in a game decided by 5 or less.
Is it Q time? Let's see.
Pretty much. Let's see here. From the corner, one dribble for Battle. He'll uncork another 3. That one won't go down. Rebounded by Oliveri, who's off to the races now. Oh, he might have got away with a couple of steps as he went flying to the basket, and they get a whistle. That was the pro hop, right? You got the pro hop on that one.
A lot of hop.
.437 to go, 5-point deficit.
Fucking it over. Looks like Norfolk Sports Club's getting it back.
Yeah, and it looks like they will have a chance here to make this a one-possession game, trailing by 5.
Give it
J.J.
inside.
Dennis.
There it is.
Oh, has it stolen away by Kozart. The nation's shot block leader comes up with a steal.
He's everywhere defensively, though. Great length.
Passing out to Guerrier. Second defender comes over to converge. Three-pointer from the wing. Doesn't go down, rebounded inside.
They're giving him that shot.
Dennis misses from deep, rebounded again by Kozart. And now Vescovy will try to slow things down as we tick under 4 minutes to play.
That's going to be taking the ball screen.
Vescovy, oh, what a
Beautiful
feed and
pass.
a flush by Kozart, who throws it down.
Beautiful roll by Kozart.
The Eastern Kentucky stud, making it a 7-point lead for Mike Duman, Auto Sales.
On both ends now.
Crawford tries to get to the hip of Kozart, who alters that shot and changes the direction as Vescovy gets the board. Now we're seeing Kozart, who leaks out, running the court, and he's going to be fouled from behind by Dennis, going up with 3:28 to go on our clock.
Your guy's asserting himself late.
He really is stepping up here to the forefront.
Ray J. Dennis is fourth.
And money time.
Team's
Up.
third. Isaiah Kozart at the line.
So Kozart.
There you go.
About a great nugget here. Kyle Rode and Isaiah Kozart played versus each other in high school back in Kentucky. Kozart at Madison Central High School and Rode at Lexington Christian Academy. Great little factoid there. Think about this. So you go back to your days when you in high school. Now you get to the PIT, trying to fulfill your dreams to one day play the professional ranks, perhaps even the NBA. And here you are along your journey. So I imagine they've got some stories.
Right?
Yeah, that's a great storyline there for that. That's a good one there. We thank our hard-working production team for passing that on to us here as they get the ball back here. 8-point game here. And here's Kozart with the left-handed throwdown as he
Eric Gaines is really throwing some dimes in this one.
crushes it. You're right. Gaines is not going to get as much credit for some of these dunks, but Kozart and Jones tonight have been getting the highlight reel finishes. But Gaines is making plays. Guerrier's got 11 rebounds. Oliveri's got 8 boards. So a lot of others, and you mentioned Vescovy's hustle contagious throughout. And I still go back to Lucas tonight as you have to turn it over once, which is still eye-popping to me, while Jones has got no turnovers in his 16.7 rebounds, 18 minutes of play, as it's going to be battle misfiring on a 3. Dennis comes up with it on the move here with 2.5 minutes to play.
Jones has played extremely efficient basketball in this one.
Trying to shake the defender. 8-point lead here for Mike Duman, which just wants to protect this lead, and they'll get a timeout here, a full one, as Jeremy Jordan calls that one. So with just over 2 minutes to go, I noticed in Chicago, with under 7 minutes to go until halftime, the Bulls have an 11-point lead on the Hawks. I know a lot of folks excited for you go straight from the end of the college basketball tournament. Some great action in the men's tournament. The women's tournament getting so much attention with South Carolina capping an undefeated season. Caitlin Clark becoming such a phenomenon for Iowa. Angel Reese, all these great players just got, many of which got picked in the WNBA draft on Monday night. And now you go straight to the NBA playoffs coming up this weekend, which there should be plenty of storylines and some fun things to follow for that. And Jordan, I know people were wondering if Denver will repeat as champions and they get a intriguing first-round matchup out of the gate against the LA Lakers to start things off as they get a rematch of their Western Conference Finals, and we'll see if anybody can take down the Celtics in the East. So it'll be fun basketball to watch. And what's really cool to me is when you come to the PIT, The number of people, and I see them right now with their phones. They're checking the scores of games, and now you've got these devices. They can watch us on their mobile device, whether they're in the gymnasium, out of the gymnasium. They can pull up so many different things with technology. It's so cool, and it didn't exist 15, 20 years ago.
It's crazy, but people have been coming to this event for how long, right?
Yeah.
70 years now, right?
I mean, you didn't have internet 70 years ago. You didn't have streaming 25, 30 years ago, and it's great for people that can't physically be here. Maybe you have relatives from other states, other places around the country, and get a chance to watch. Or if you're a fan of a particular school, you mentioned like a Villanova, a St. John's, whoever it might be, Florida, get a chance to watch this action. We thank all of you out there for tuning in here with us on the Portsmouth Invitational site and with Prep Spin. And here's a deep shot. It's going to be knocked down. Jamison Battle starting to find the touch. He didn't have it early, but he's getting it going late as he's up to 11 points after that trifecta. Here's Kyle Rode over to Ray J. Dennis. Down low. Look at Jones inside, scoring it around the 10.
Too much on the mismatch.
Stock up for Isaac Jones for me tonight. He's also been a guy that's his team is probably not going to come out on top, but 18.7 rebounds. He's kept them afloat.
Certainly passes the eye test.
And I like how he's hustling on defense around half court.
Watch that.
Here's a deep shot, and it's knocked down from Jared Lucas. Staying efficient tonight is he.
Hand down, man down, though. Here's Jones again.
The activity from Jones, it's nonstop all night long. 10-point gap here with 90 seconds to go.
Looks like they're going to hold on some clock, Mike Duman here.
That's the way to do it here, try to milk the clock. The way the game of basketball is played at professional ranks, internationally, college, even high school, leads are not what they used to be. They can evaporate in the blink of an eye.
The three-point shot, the three-point revolutions changed everything,
I
right?
mean, we mentioned that Dayton, Nevada game. You watched the Lakers and Bucks a few weeks ago where all of a sudden it disappears. Last night, the Lakers were up against the Pelicans by 18, and you turn away, you go use the bathroom and walk the dog, and it's all of a sudden a tie game.
Yeah.
That's what happens nowadays in the game of basketball. And I know even watching some international games like I have sometimes online, you'll see with the three-point shot now, you get 2 or 3 threes, you can turn an 11-point deficit into a one-possession game. You get a stop, you foul, a turnover. You have a minute 16 to go. You feel like this is over, but not so fast, my friend, as Lee Corso likes to say.
Yeah, absolutely not. Stay tuned with this one.
10 dimes for Gaines tonight. Guerrier's got 11 rebounds.
Yeah, Guerrier's been active as well. It's just the three-point shooting has left a little to be desired. 1 for 7.
And that's something that we'll probably have to improve if Mike Duman is to continue advancing in this tourney to have a chance at the championship. In the corner, long-range shot is knocked down by Oliveri. Just like we said, it's a 7-point game all of a sudden. Up ahead, leaking out, it's Lucas. And he's going to draw the foul as it was Tyson Walker almost hurdling him.
Trying to make contact but not hurt anyone,
No,
right?
2 to go. I'm not sure if he competed in the hurdles back in his days in high school. I'm not sure. I'd be scared to death to do that.
Yeah.
Or even maybe a pole vaulting. Oh, my goodness. I don't know where that thing could end up.
Yeah.
62 seconds to play. Inbounding from the side, it'll be Eric Gaines. Or wait, Eric Gaines is going to take a seat. It's going to actually be Vescovy.
One minute remaining.
So going back to Kyle Rode, by the way, his head coach Nate Valentine also coached Reed Shepherd in high school. How about that?
Wow.
So I'm sure he's got some stories.
Nice pipeline there.
Yeah.
Right?
You come to this event and you'll see coaches that have had that pedigree, that lineage, and it's pretty startling sometimes. You'll have he coached a player, an older brother, or a sibling, or came from the same high school.
Yeah. A lot of narratives, for sure.
And go surf the web, folks. I encourage you all to check out on the PIT. There's so many different news stories. We have a throng of reporters here tonight that'll have different items on various athletes from the PIT. You'll learn a whole lot about some of the backgrounds of some of these fine young men competing here tonight. As the free throw line now, Jenkins gets a couple to give them that breathing room they so badly need. Now it's three-point time for Norfolk Sports Club. Can they knock down another one? Behind the back with a dribble, it's Dennis, picked up by Samuel. And Samuel's going to call for the bump, but I thought he was thinking about getting that exclamation point play here on defense tonight to
cap off a great night.
Put this in the book.
So back to PIT history. I think probably one of my favorite players in PIT history was either Robert Covington. There's so many names.
Well, and a lot of the locals around here in the Tidewater area have come out over the years. We've had a real neat contingency of players that came right here through the area. Nate Watson, who played at Providence.
Yeah.
He actually started here in Portsmouth at Churchland High School. We had Rajay Bullock a few years ago from Kickingham High School, who also played at Providence. Devin Hall, who played on a UVA team that almost made the Final Four, got drafted by the Oklahoma City Thunder. He was from Cape Henry Collegiate in Virginia Beach. Shannon Evans, who played at Nansman River High School, went on to play for Bobby Hurley at Arizona State after playing for him at Buffalo. And that's all like in the last 6, 7, 8 years as the free throw was knocked down for Ray J. Dennis. Really not a local fan favorite this particular year, but as we get closer to Saturday night championship night, there will be stronger crowds here supporting on a number of these players as Dennis makes them both to make it a comfortable lead here, barring a barrage of threes for Mike Duman, as you feel like as long as they take care of the ball and don't do anything wild where they give them a live ball turnover and foul on a three, they should walk out of here victorious. But the winner here tonight will move on to Friday in the semifinals, and that'll be a game coming up with Jenny King, who won earlier tonight 85-79. Again, tomorrow we've got for you coming up Sales Systems and Portsmouth Partnership at 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock on Thursday, Roger Brown's Restaurant taking on K&D Rounds Landscape Services. The loser of this one will take on Portsmouth Sports Club at 3:15 on Thursday. And speaking of big leads, Jordan, I see DeJounte Murray up to 21 points in the first half, and the Hawks trying to come back from a big deficit against the Bulls. They've made it respectable in that one as it's almost single digits again. But so much action to follow. And we've got you covered here wall-to-wall on the Portsmouth Invitational Tournament.
I haven't heard much from Dennis Jenkins so far in the second half,
You're right, he's not been as big a force in this half. First half, Jenkins had 8 points, just 2 here with 1 shot attempt in the second half. And Oliveri with his third foul here with 38.3 seconds to go as this one is winding down. And all Battle has to do here is hit a couple of free throws to keep this from getting extra dicey for Mike Duman Auto Sales. And this first one is no good.
He has a really good-looking stroke, though, right?
He does. And, again, as they had that coaching change during the season, was a real major influence for the Buckeyes making that run to the NIT. So they got bounced by Georgia. And here it is. Pull-up jumper from the foul line for Walker. Doesn't go down offensive board for Jones. Kicked out by Rode. Here's a deep three for Oliveri, and it's swished with 25.5 seconds to go, and it's a 5-point game.
Don't count them out. This is the time for Q.
With the three-point shot, it's never over. Can they get a steal is the question. They're going to need to play it defensively to complete this comeback.
Whoa,
and there's almost a tackle takedown by Rode of Lucas. Lucas has not gone to the foul line tonight.
Number 14, Kyle Rode, is third.
And this past season for the Wolfpack, 89.9%. How about his 5 seasons? 0.9%, 86.3%, 87.1%, 89.6%, and 87%. So they'll get mad at me if he doesn't hit these 2 free throws, I'm sure.
And I mean, and from three-point range, he's almost 40%. And the quality of shots he takes some very difficult three-pointers.
Very dependable from the charity stripe, and he hits the first. Second one can make it a 3-possession game. And that one is canned, and a timeout by Norfolk Sports Club here with 22.9 seconds to go. Down to 2 left, 1 remaining for the guest. That is Mike Duman Auto Sales, which has a 7-point lead.
So for the rest of the tournament, were there any names that really stood out that you're looking
I'll
forward
give
to
you
seeing?
a couple of names that I'm looking forward to seeing here. And I'll tell you one name I think is really underrated from Roger Brown's Enrique Freeman from Akron.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's got a chance to, double machine.
Former walk-on.
Yeah, I think he'll open up a ton of eyes. People know the name Boogie Ellis from USC, and people on the East Coast certainly familiar with Jameer Young from Maryland.
Yeah.
I think there will be some contingency for him as well as T.J. Bickerstaff for James Madison for K&D Realms. I'd keep an eye on also Tyrese Boots Radford, Texas A&M, who once played at Virginia Tech for Sales Systems. Max Asmus at Texas was a big-time player at Oral Roberts. And Jalen Williams from Auburn. He is athletic and can make it happen above the rim.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I really like Vontarius Woolbright from West Carolina. I think it's going to be an interesting he's going to be a very interesting player to look for. Also Riley Minix from Morehead State.
Yeah.
He was tough in that opening round matchup.
Underrated for sure. Folks, we'll see DJ Horn from NC State, which made that miraculous Final Four run for Portsmouth Partnership.
He was excellent down the stretch of that season.
ACC tournament champs for Kevin Keats and the Wolfpack, and they'll dribble out the clock here, and that'll be the final score, 93-86. Mike Duman Auto Sales going to walk away victorious, led by 19 points apiece for Jared Lucas and Tyrese Samuel. Samuel with 7 rebounds, 8 of 11 from the floor. Also in double figures, you had Eric Gaines with a double-double of 10 points, 10 assists.
Wow.
You had Mr. Cozart, Isaiah Cozart with 11 points and 7 rebounds, 10 points for Dennis Jenkins, and you also had 12 points for Jamison Battle. I got to go with player of the game being Samuel here. I think he's the guy, Jordan.
Yeah, I think he helped them build that lead, and they didn't look back.
20 points apiece for Quincy Oliveri and Isaac Jones in defeat. So from a broadcast partner, Jordan Tyler, I'm Matt Hatfield. Jordan, this was a lot of fun. We'll do it again.
It's a pleasure. Look forward to it.
We thank you all for tuning in on the Portsmouth Invitational website, portsmouthinvitational.com, through our friends at Prep Spin. We appreciate you all tuning in, and we'll be back on Thursday for wall-to-wall coverage of the 70th annual Portsmouth Invitational Tournament. We say good night from Portsmouth, Virginia.